Welcome to part 2 of the It's Me, Chelle podcast, interviewing Soul Toucha The Poet from the King and I Life podcast. If you've missed part 1, go to YouTube, watch it, or tune in on all podcast platforms if you prefer the audio version. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you follow me on Instagram at itsmi.chelle. Click the link in my bio so that way you're up on all the content. Hope you enjoy.
I see you. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me, Chelle, bitch.
Hey, Gente, welcome back to another week of the It's Me, Chelle podcast. And remember, my job is to make your road to Friday a lot easier. All right, here we go. Hold on. Let me make this look real cute.
Oh my.
Hold on. All right, go ahead. What do they call you?
All right. So they call me King. They call me King Ho. They call me Asshole. They call me Achieng. They call me Archie. They call me Oscar. They call me Landy. They call me Landry. They call me Lady. They call me Langley. They call me Lando. I think that's all of them. Aching, achieving. Yeah. There we go.
Achieving?
I think I got them all.
The nerve. Achieving?
Yeah. So the reason why they call me all these names because my birth name is Achieng.
Okay.
It's African. I'm not African, ladies and gentlemen, but my name is African. Since I can remember, my family has called me King. That's my nickname. My family has always mispronounced my name my entire life by calling me Aking. So I started first telling people my name was Aking as my birth name, but I always tell people to call me King because that's the name I've been called all my life. How people get achieving, Oscar, Aking, Archie, Arching out of that, I have no fucking idea. Now,
Wow.
my last name, 5 letters, Landy, Landy. How they get Landry, Laundry, Lady, Langley, I have no fucking idea.
Mike Larry.
Right. I don't even attempt to tell too many people my middle name because they butcher it. Like if they butcher my first name and they butcher my last name, my middle name is just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and the sad part is, here's the sad part. I tell you how to say my name and you still mess it up. Like 3 seconds after I tell you and you still mess it up, it's like, are you illiterate or are you stupid?
Right. I can't stand that.
Right. And here's the other thing. Like I spell out how to pronounce my name. Like my name is Achieng. It's spelled Achieng. To make it easy, I tell people just think of Ah and Ching and put that together. And when I write it out, Ching, like Ching.
Right.
How do you mess that up? I have no fucking idea. Like
That's because they just don't want to get it right.
right. And yeah, like I had someone butcher my name so many times, and it's like I'm looking at them like it's like, why are you getting mad? It's like I'm not getting mad. I'm just don't understand how you messing up my name. Oh, why are you getting all in your feelings? Like I'm not getting in my feelings. I'm just wondering why you're stupid. Because like literally, if you ask me how to say my name and I tell you, and you still mess it up, I'm like, what's wrong with you? And if I tell you how to write it down to help you pronounce it and you still mess it up, it's like
that's a problem. That's on them at this point.
Yeah.
That's definitely a problem.
And my tolerance is like that, like literally like that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think your name is very unique. I've never heard it before. Yeah. Does it have a meaning? Does it have like a meaning behind your name? Because I know it's African.
Yes. So the meaning is born during the sunny season, but
okay.
Here's the humdinger. I tell people that my mother was high when she picked my name because it is actually the way it's spelled is actually it's from Kenya,
Okay.
from the Low tribe, and it's actually the female way of spelling my name. My name is as a male, it's supposed to be Oching, but there are males with Achieng, but my name is supposed to be Oching, it's supposed to be Ochieng.
Oh, so she named you the female.
Yeah, but males
Achieng.
have the female spelling of their name, but
Okay.
typically a male is supposed to be Oching and not Aching.
Oh, your poor mama. She was lit.
Lit the
She
fuck up.
was lit.
Yeah,
She
she's
said,
like, I saw it in a book and I liked it. And I'm like, what the fuck book were you looking at? Like, why? Why did you do this to me?
shit, we about to get your mom up in here. Like, excuse me,
Right? Like,
Miss,
come
what the
on, yo. Like, yo. But I mean, and I say this before, but I haven't said it a lot. I hated my name growing up. Like
oh,
hated it. I didn't
because it's
really.
hard.
It's not that it's hard. It's just that it's too different. And I was always like,
Mm,
people don't believe me, but I was always shy growing up. Um, and being that my nickname was King, and I really didn't know my name was Aching. I thought it was Aking. So I wasn't accustomed to my name, but I didn't really start accepting my name until 1992 when I was active duty Army, and in
mhm,
my platoon we were doing a like getting to know each other session, and we were
right.
telling each other about our names, where we're from, and this, that, and other. And the guys in my platoon, they was actually joking my name. And from there, I started really appreciating my name from there.
Oh, that's what's up. So I feel like the military was just such a big part of your life. Like
Yeah.
you came to a lot of realizations and a lot
Yeah.
of acceptance and knowing who you are, like relationships, all that stuff.
Yeah. I had no desire to join the military.
Mhm.
It was, like I said, it was out of necessity.
Yeah.
But my goal in the military was to achieve more than what my mother did.
Mhm.
And as a parent with a child, you want your child to exceed more than what you did. My goal was to exceed more than what my mother did, and I've done that. And I still try to. I'm still trying to push further, but here's another thing about the National Guard, Reserve, and as opposed to active duty, it's
Mhm.
harder to excel in a National Guard and Reserve than it is active duty. So, um, I'm a E7 Sergeant First Class. I've been that since 2013. By
Okay.
now, I should be a damn Command Sergeant Major, but
Right.
it's harder in the National Guard and Reserves. And depending on your career path and your um, diversity of assignments, that kind of hinders you. So, had I been active duty, I would have retired from the military in 2011. I would have been collecting a retirement check and disability check,
Right.
working full time and getting that check. I would have been like a
Chilling.
$200,000 nigga. I'm still six figures, but I would have been,
I was
bigger,
just gonna
bigger six figures. You know,
say, it would have been Jay-Z.
yeah, climbing up that.
Well, I think you're doing great. Now, well, can you this is gonna be a silly question though. Would you be able to like switch, although you're reserved now, there's no way you can go active duty?
No, I
Mm.
actually tried back in 2012, but the problem is I have too much time and too much rank. And when I actually talked to a recruiter at the time, I was a staff sergeant, which is an E6. I would have had to drop down two ranks to
Uh,
switch my job in order to go active duty, or wait to see if an open slot for my rank and my job was available. And it was like at that time, it was like, I don't have the patience or the time to wait. So let me just keep doing what I'm doing.
oh, okay. So you just keep going. How long do you have till you retire? Do you know? Like, do you, is
Oh,
it?
I could have retired 8 years ago.
Oh, okay. So that still stands. You still did your 20
Yeah,
and
I'm past my. I'm actually at almost 29 years.
wow.
But the only reason why I stay in is because I have personal goals that that I want to
Okay.
accomplish. I've accomplished the majority of them, but I do want to at least try to get the next rank, which is master sergeant. And other than that, only other reason why I stayed is for my youngest son, who's graduate this school year. He's
Mhm.
17. um I like the military benefits, I get that. So I don't know what people's benefits out there are like, but with the
Right.
military, I have TRICARE. It's like $230 a month for me and my son. I know people pay a whole lot more than that, and
Mhm.
like I typically don't need referrals and all that kind of stuff. And I can go to any doctor I want nationwide, where, some people's insurance, they don't have nationwide coverage.
Right.
It's just great insurance. And plus, the more years I get in, the more my military retirement will be, even though it's not what it would be if I was active duty, and stuff like that. And plus, I take great pride in serving my country. We all, this is all of our country. So I
Mhm.
take pride in that. Whereas, a lot of people have, we all have our dislikes for certain things, politics, whatever. But at the end of the day, when you look to your left and right, we're all Americans. And if nobody stands up for Americans, then nobody will stand up for America. So
Yeah.
I look at it like that. And that's the way I look at it. I know a lot of people don't look at it like that. People say, "Oh yeah, I respect the military, but I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that," and they
Right.
always send in hours to war. And it's like, yo, bro, minorities, we're a small percentage of the military. So it's like when you look at who goes to war or whatever, it's more of other racial backgrounds. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, don't look at it like that, because let's just say every American said, the hell with the military, and nobody served. If something happened, then what?
Right. People make it so like they make it so much about color and about
Yes.
race. And it's always, well, you know what? They just want black and brown people to go down
Yeah.
first. And when half the time you might not be in front line, you probably
Right.
comms or something. Like there's just so many
Yeah.
different things that you can do, but people are very small minded. And I think that's what we were talking about when on your podcast, with how people are just kind of closed minded about certain things. What was
Mhm.
you said religion,
Yeah. Politics and stuff like
politics.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very close-minded. They don't look at there's two sides of a coin. They don't look at none of that. It's just very like tunnel vision.
Yeah, and one other thing I'll point out with the military is, yes, there has been racial bias in the military
Yeah.
for a long time, but the military has come a long way, and it's a lot of that stuff is not tolerated. Um, Racial issues are not tolerated. Um, Sexual abuse is not tolerated. There's a lot of stuff that's not tolerated that was, standard back in the day. So it's like now at this point now, yes, you still have, certain, things that go on, but for the most part, it's like it's a even playing field. It's all about where your head is at, and what you hope to bring, what you want to accomplish, and just like in everyday life, what you want to change.
Mhm.
So the more you put into it, the more it works out for not only for you, but people who come behind you, or people who are before you, because some people are stuck in their ways. And it's like sometimes you need to do something to make that change, and people need to understand that the military is just like everyday life. It's just a section off part of life.
Yeah.
um, and don't look at it as a hindrance or as a negative thing. Look, you can go out here and say the hell with military, the hell with college, and hell with this and hell with that, but what skills do you have to proceed to
Mhm.
progress in life? You have to pick a road. And if if you look at college, you can't afford it. If you look at entrepreneurship, if you're not ready for it, and let's just say you look at the everyday job and it's not working for you, what else do you have? You can't sell drugs, so you're going to go to jail. You can't just be
Right.
smart with your life. And if the military is, hey, it could be a first choice or a last choice, whatever it is, and no matter what it is, take advantage of the opportunities that you have before you, and make it work for you, make it work with you.
Oh, I agree. You're dropping gems today. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so I'm gonna talk about. I don't know how I'm gonna top that because, like I said, you're dropping a lot of gems tonight. But I'm gonna talk about my names because people. It's not that people don't listen. I think for me, people just don't care. They're just
I would
"Oh,"
say, yeah, I would agree with that. People just
like
don't care.
they don't care. Like, oh, you say your name is what? Oh, okay. So for
Mhm.
me, I mean, you had a lot of names, but also your name is so unique,
Right.
right? Mine is very simple and people still fuck it up. So I'm gonna add the timer for little old me.
Mind blowing.
You would be surprised. So just to be clear, guys, my name is Michelle. This is your hostess, Michelle S. That's my name. And the names that I have heard
Oh my
people
God.
call me, my journeys of life, you'd be right.
Oh my God.
I know.
Stop.
All right, so I have the infamous Melissa, which I've said before, Mitchell, Mitchell, Rochelle, yeah, Michael, which I guess Mitchie. I'm like Michelle, Mitchie, Mike. I guess all the variations of Michael. Um, but the last one, this is for all my Russian brethren out there, Misha. I have been called Misha. And just to let you know, Misha is it's like I had to look it up because when someone called me that, not only were they not Russian,
What?
that
Wait.
they were not. And I said, "What did you call me?" Misha, right? That's your name. I said, "No, my name is Michelle." Oh, it sounds so much like Misha. And I said, Misha, Michelle. I guess. I said, but my name is French. And this person was like, "Oh, well, I don't know where this name is from." And I looked it up. So my favorite is Misha because it means who resembles God.
Hey,
I ain't mad at
I'm
it.
not even gonna hate you on that one. Like, yo, if my name resemble God, I roll with it too.
So they put me on that. When I found out what that meant, I was on the highest pedestal you can think of.
Oh wow,
You
rock
thinking of
with
the
it.
high listen, you think of a high pedestal right now, I was higher than that. So I was just like,
Wow.
and just a little history, okay? This gender neutral name,
Mm,
Misha, stems from the Hebrew roots and it means who resembles God. And this name is very popular in Russia. And it is considered to be a nickname for Michael, which is not my name because my name is Michelle.
right.
But I think there's some irony because being that I'm not a religious person, but my name resembles God.
Wow.
Stop it.
Stop it. Stop all
Stop
of
it.
it.
You
Like,
guys are playing with me too much.
first of all, just looking at your name is, well, I always in my head always called you me Shell.
Everybody does that.
I mean, I only call you that because the way that you have it, like you have
Right.
MI, yeah. So I just say Michelle.
Mhm.
But I mean, to look at your name like this written down, Michelle, it's
Yeah.
like Michael.
Yeah, Michael, doctor's offices. Melissa? I'm like, nah,
Like
this is gonna be a
I don't understand how you get
Mitchell,
Michelle. I mean, Melissa, Mitchell, Michael. I'm not
Mike. I
like they
was like,
say.
nah, this
Like they
can't be
say, ignorance is bliss.
real. It really is. But it's not blissful to me because
Right, right. Because it's like, first of all, your name is not that unique as mine. So it's like Michelle is more is a pretty common name, and it's uh,
right.
like I know you know Michelle's in your life somewhere,
Somewhere.
somewhere.
I
Like,
literally pull out the Beatles and I'm like, Michelle, my belt. Like, that's my name,
oh
Michelle.
my,
Oh, okay, Mitchell, come to the back. I'm like, motherfucking piece of shit. All
yeah.
right, fine, I'll go to the back.
Do you ever get people say to you, "How do you pronounce your name?" Because I don't want to mess it up.
No,
Oh, they just mess it up.
they just mess it up. I
Yeah.
wish I wish I got that.
I get people who say that, like, how do you say your name? Because I don't want to mess it up. And I tell them, say, oh, Achieng.
No,
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 that's not what I said.
that's not. That's
Okay.
they don't care. I will tell you
Yeah.
right now, they can give five shits about our names.
Right.
That's it. And that's the end of our segment, which makes me really sad because I still feel like people don't know who I am, who I really am.
Right.
I'm still up in the
Oh man, I'm so blown.
no, I'm blown by yours. You had a lot. Yeah, they called you
Oh,
Mike Larry. Like you were just
right.
you were just
I think Oscar was the worst. Like
Oscar.
Like how do you get Oscar out of Achieng? It's like
They
wait, like
they don't care. They gave up on trying.
my baloney has a first name OSCAR. Like come on, like did you not see that? I understand that was in the '80s, but yo,
Word. Like, I mean, we still remember the Oscar.
right, Oscar the Grouch, Oscar Mayer. Like come
Oscar
on,
Mayer. There's no way.
no way.
Nah. All right. Well, like every origin story, every movie has an origin story.
Yes,
And I feel like you have an origin story.
yes,
So we're going to get into the King and I Life podcast. And I know Jeff isn't here with us.
yes, yes, yes.
So I wanted to ask, how did you and Jeff get into podcasting? Like, how did you meet? Or when you met, how did you say, you know what, dude, you're the guy I want to do a podcast with? Or were you guys friends? All that good stuff.
Okay, so we met in Germany in like '89. So
Mm,
we've been like brothers since then. Um, we lost contact with each other for a while after Germany. We linked back up probably around 2013, something like that.
mhm,
So 2019 had a couple of friends doing podcasts, and he had hit me up and was like, "Hey, let's start a podcast." Um, so we was like, all right, bet, let's get it rocking or whatever the case may be. We had recorded a couple of episodes on Anchor, but the audio was trash. Um, like the audio was trash. So life happened and we just left it alone.
mhm,
Um, 2020 came around and we revisited and then we started recording again. A couple of audios was trash. A couple of was good. We started on Zoom or whatever. And then, we started recording more and more and more. So 2020 we started and then we took off from there. So he came up with the name, he came up with, all that. And
mhm.
me more the techie person. I was on that end. So yeah, we went from there and we decided that hey, we're just gonna talk about, King and I life is, we're gonna talk about life. New top news topics, current events, life in general, just stuff like that. We didn't want to be pigeonholed into any kind of niche or anything like that. So that's how we started.
Oh, that's what's up. How did you, well, I know your nickname King. How did you come up with like King and I? Because it's spelled EYE, right?
Right.
Okay. How did you guys come up with that, like the word play?
That was all him. I really don't know or fully where his head was at, but
Mm,
um, if I was to really look at it, it was like king in the all-seeing eye.
God.
So, we're both kings and we're both all-seeing eyes, and we're talking about life.
Oh, well, that's what's up because that's how I thought about it. Before I knew the history of your name,
Mhm.
I thought maybe it was kind of like, yeah, like, two kings kind of just observing the world and
Right.
talking about it, current events and all that good stuff. So yeah. Does it get in the way of like your work and stuff, podcasting?
Podcasting, it doesn't get away in the way of work for me.
Mhm.
Because when we first started, I was on full telework. So
Oh,
I
that's
had the freedom to record all the time. He does water towers, inspections and stuff like that. So so we more so worked on his schedule. And quite honestly, my first wife was a third co-host on our podcast for a
really.
while. Yeah. She's the mother of my oldest son.
Mhm.
But um, it got to the point to where she was not available all the time and or tech friendly or whatever. Because like
Yeah.
we do our outlines and stuff on Google Docs, and
Mhm.
it's like she would said she wasn't able to get in there or whatever the case may be. So it's like me and him are going off the outline, and she's like, well, just throw it out there. And it's like, nah, we kind of like need you to like get in there so that you
Yeah.
know what the hell is going on and we all on the same page, because it's like with her infrequency, and me and him always vibe because we would talk every day, because we talk on Marco Polo and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And it's like me and him talk every day, so we bouncing ideas back and forth. And for her to just come in the fold off the cuff and we throwing the talking points out there, it's like she
Right.
would get long-winded. And it's like we have a question or a topic, a talking point or whatever, and it's like we give out 1 2 minute whatever, and she's going on for 5 minutes. It's like, yo, it's not
So
working.
it wasn't as organic as you wanted it
Right,
to be.
right. And then after a while it was like, yo, we getting on such and such day, and it's like shoot her a text. It's like, oh, I don't hear my text message, you got to call me. It's like, I'm not doing all that. It's like you got your phone with you all day, like you checking the Facebook and Instagram and this, that, and other. You can't see a text message. Like, I'm not
Right.
doing that. Like, he would like, all right, I'll call. I was like, that's on you, bro. I'm not doing it, because I'm at the point. It's like, yo, I'm doing this part of it. You're doing that part of it, and she's not doing this. No, and it's no knock against. I'm not talking negative about her, but
No,
it's
of
like
course. Yeah.
if everybody's not carrying their weight, it's like, you know what? I gotta fall back because I myself, I got a heavy load with all of this, and he got his load. But it's like if I got all this heavy load over here and I got to do extra to get her involved, I'm not doing it.
It's too much. It's too
It's too
much
much.
effort. Yeah, and I don't blame you because I do this stuff solo. So having to like edit and talking points and notes and all that stuff and interviews and setting
Yeah,
cameras, and it is a lot of work. So having three people and then having like that third person, you got to kind of carry them too. It does become a little um overwhelming.
yeah. And we actually had at that time we pulled in a third person that I knew, but let me let me tell you. You know when you have someone that likes you, but
Mhm.
you've never crossed that bridge and you see the tension there. It was like that. Like she was feeling me like that, but
Mhm.
I wasn't feeling her. Like she stayed in Connecticut, and
Okay.
it's like I could only take her in doses. So we brought her on, and it's like she was just too much, and people really wasn't feeling her. I mean,
Okay.
she was cool and everything, but people wasn't feeling her. And then her emotions started getting into it. And it's like, yo, nah, like no
Too
mas,
messy.
no mas,
Ja.
no. That got like, yo, it was like, yo, we got, nah, we can't. So I
That's a
mean,
little messy.
yeah, I mean, but the thing about it is like we have a broad range of topics, and some of our topics that we've had or that we have that we want to do, it needs female energy. And it's
Mhm.
like we always want a female to come on, and it's like we can't get anybody come on. So it's like, so a lot of these topics we just gotta throw to the wayside, or
Damn.
um do the best we can as men to address these issues. Like for me, it's easy to address these issues because I grew up around women and I have a lot of female friends. So it's like I can somewhat speak on behalf of women or from a woman's perspective because I talk to women in those ways.
Mhm.
And Son Solex, he's just a straight dude.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have that sensitivity. Not saying that he's insensitive, but he doesn't have that sensitivity to look at things from a female's perspective. So we
Right.
try our best with some of those topics, but at the end of the day, it's like, yo, I'll be like, nah, we need a female for this, because it's like, you know, we can talk about it, but it would be so much better to have that female energy, that female input, that female point of view, because it'd be like, you know what? Yes, we have a representative to speak directly to those
Mhm.
topics.
Oh, well, if you ever need anybody, as long as like work doesn't get in the way, because work be ratchet sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Work is for the birds.
it is.
Can I?
It is.
But it's okay. We're not gonna talk about it because
Yeah.
we're in a safe space right now.
Yes, we
We're not
are.
gonna talk about her.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I like I hit you up, hey, we got them topics. I'll hit you up and see if you're free.
Yeah, because I understand needing female energy. There's certain things that I mean, I just talk about everything
Hmm.
anyway. Um, I don't want to say I don't try to put a gender to it, but I do kind of keep my topics very generalized where
Right.
I do get input from both men and women. I kind of put them together and say, "Okay, this is it. This is what it
Right.
is. Don't come,"
Yeah.
and I always make my disclaimers, "Don't come from me. Don't be mad at me.
Right.
Don't
It
look
is
at
what it
me
is.
sideways." I mean, hey, this is just what I've learned, what I've experienced,
Right.
and it is what it is. So we spoke a little bit about this when I was a guest on your show. So mi gente, again, shameless plug. Make sure you check it out on all podcast platforms, on YouTube. It's all out. Make sure, get it done, watch it. If you don't, you might be a loser.
Yeah, a
Can we say
whole loser. A whole loser.
that?
Like, yes, a whole loser.
I wanted to ask, how did you and Santo, how do you guys get into the YouTube world? Because this is a different animal.
So we first started out audio.
Mhm.
And like so I watch YouTube a lot.
Mhm.
And I know there are a lot of podcasts on YouTube, and coming in contact with Red Lipstick Vibes, who we affectionately love.
Yeah.
Um and a lot of the other you creators that we know mutually. It was just another avenue to put the podcast out. We come across we use Restream to do our lives. So it's like putting it out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and stuff like that. It's like, hey, we gotta try to hit everything that we can, because our
Yeah.
goal was to get monetized and this stuff like that. But of course that takes time.
Mhm.
Um, but I was already familiar with video editing and doing YouTube, this, that, and the other. So we just felt like, you know, with our platform and with our topics and with us knowing over 1,000 people's individually or jointly or whatever, that we can hit those people, and they'll support our podcast, which
Right.
is another animal. But
Yep.
that was our thing. That was our thing. We just wanted to get out there and hopefully even get a new audience and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Do you find it difficult managing like the audio and the visual aspect of it, like with YouTube and just the audio platforms, or is it something you kind of just throw out at the same time? And because of whatever systems you guys use, you're able to split it up.
um Before it got frustrating,
Yeah.
it was fairly simple. Once I got into a flow of the audio and the video, it just more of finding a flow of it. But you know, like I told you, like some of our recordings would be like 2.5, 3 hours, and it's
Mhm.
like finding the time to chop that up and chop it up in digestible pieces. I had to find that, because at first it was like, we would do 30-minute audios. Like we would break one episode up into maybe 4 segments and put that out in like 4 or 5 days throughout a week. And we would do the same. I would do the same thing with the video, 30-minute videos here and there. But people's retention is not 30 minutes long for a YouTube video, especially for us. So one of my, I'll say, inspirations is Vlad TV. I watch Vlad damn near every day.
Okay.
And so seeing how he chops his videos up, I
Mhm.
went to chopping our videos up like that, and actually got more feedback from people. Yeah, I'm glad you chopped it up like that, because that such and such was too long and this, that, and the other. So, you know, all shouts out to Vlad, because I see a lot of people mirroring what he does. And
Mhm.
for the most part, if I have a 5 minute or 8 minute video clip, um, it usually gets people to want to watch the other ones. But the craziest thing is I've been noticing in the analytics is part one to drop, you'll
Mhm.
get like 4, 5, 6 views.
Right.
Part two, three, and whatever a drop, and it's like, why does part one have 5 or 6 and part three has 10? It's like
The math doesn't make.
it doesn't make sense. Like, like you didn't watch the first clip,
You
but
went straight to the third.
but 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 got all these views. And it's like, what am I missing here? And it's like,
Yeah.
And like I was telling you before, I don't have the mental space or time to listen through the whole thing. So I'll just chop it up where I chop it up, because it's like it already took, 2.5, 3 hours to record this. Now we're down to like 45 minutes to an hour per episode, or
Yeah.
pre-recording. um I just didn't have the time to listen through the whole thing and be like, all right, let me take out the ums, the ahs, the dead space, the this, the that, the other. I'm not doing all that, because it's like I'm the one doing it. And it's like, you know if I'm not teleworking, I drive from where I'm at to DC, and that's an hour and a half drive to work in the morning. And depending on how traffic is, it could be 2.5, 3 hours getting home. And it's like, I'm not about to fool with all of that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
just
It's
put
too
this,
much on your
yeah,
plate.
for the audio, I put it in the one program, chop it up, and I have my template set up so that it levels the sounds. And for the video, we do it in Riverside, and it pretty much does all of that. Like it normalizes the sound and takes out the echoes and all this, that, and the other. And all I got to do is put that in DaVinci Resolve, chop it up, and put it on YouTube, and run with it.
Oh, that's what's up. So you make your life a lot easier,
Yeah,
because it's hard. It is a
it
lot
is.
of work,
It is a
because
lot of work.
I'm still sitting, like I'm still that person that sits down, watch. If it's like an hour and 40 minutes, I watch it, and I try to cut it down to like an hour, like 10 minutes. But
Mhm.
even then, I'm just like, damn, I gotta watch it. I gotta make sure
Right.
I take out. Sometimes I do take out dead space, but now
Mhm.
I realize that dead space just makes it a lot more
More,
organic.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna leave it.
yeah. Like you might have those. I mean, so all props to you, because solo, I know it's hard, because there's been times where I've gone on solo, he's going on solo, and it's like, for me, it's like I'm missing my right arm when I go solo. So shout outs to you and everyone else who does it, the pre-records, or even a live solo. Um, but to go back and listen to all that, it's like, I
Oof.
said all of this. Now I got to listen to me say all of this. And now I got to stop it and chop it and take this out. I was, at first, I was doing that, because the
Mhm,
great thing about Reaper, which I use for the audio, is you have the sound waves, and it's like, all right, there's a dead space right there. I could put
mhm.
my cursor right there and see what's going on right there, and take this out, and splice and dice and move this, move that. And it's like, too much work. No,
Way
I'm
too
not doing
much.
that.
It's way too much. And I think when I got into podcasting, I was just like, this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want this to be as fun, as chill, as like relaxed as I want it to be. And I didn't even imagine how much of a production it would become
Man,
eventually, right?
yeah, it's a whole production. It's like it makes you appreciate those who are in that career field more, because like I tell people, I love going to the talk shows. Like I come up there, I go to all the talk. Actually, I'm be up there on Monday for the View. But
Oh, that's coming up too.
yeah, I love going to talk shows. So going to a talk show and seeing all they do, it gives you podcasting, it gives you a greater appreciation for what they do.
Yeah. And there's a whole team, and they're all
Yes.
like struggling and running around. So imagine
Right.
you and some or like solo podcast. Just imagine
Yes.
all
Yes.
that work.
I see you. It's me. 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 Shelle.